What if I were to suggest that you play a key role in the awakening world? And that you are watching this because you have heard the call. We can start right now by opening our hearts and minds. Welcome to the awakening world.
Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the Awakening World. I am Love Coach Scott Katamas, and I love hosting this show. It's what I look forward to every week, is getting to host these wonderful shows and meet amazing, wonderful people. Thank you. Let us know where you are from. I see already we've got people from Arizona, Sedona. Today's a very Sedona show. Most of the presenters are Sedona people, and you've got Belinda Terraneri from Sedona joining us. And I see Santa Barbara, Pennsylvania, Cortland, New York, Justine, California, Sacramento, Ohio, British Columbia, Ecuador, San Jose. We really are the Global Peace Tribe, which is pretty cool. Now, I'm, of course, reading about the people that are in our Zoom room. And being in the Zoom room is a really great place to be, because that's where we chat. That's where we put the links. It's where we give special discounts. And it's where we can get your comments and get your questions. And tonight's show is all about embodying our divine superpower. Now, in a moment, I'll bring on Tangela and we'll learn about what does that mean. But before I do that, I want to welcome all of you who are watching on the Facebook groups and pages, on YouTube, on the Conscious Awakening Network, on Humanities Team. Welcome. It's great that you're watching that way. And come on in. Come join the Global Peace Tribe. It's really easy to do that. Just go to globalpeacetribe.com, globalpeacetribe.com. When you go there, you're going to see our website. You can learn all about who we are and all the different shows that we do. And click register for the new season. And that little button takes you to our registration page. We do 3 or 4 shows every week, and they're fantastic shows where you meet all sorts of wisdom leaders. Sometimes you're meeting famous people like Marianne Williamson and Michael Beckwith, and other times you're meeting what I call the next generation, many of whom I've met through the great Tangela, who is my co-host tonight. And so every show is interesting and dynamic. So, for example, last week's shows, we did a show all about, can authentic spirituality mix with politics? That was really interesting. And then we did a show all about the Holo movement. It's this incredible launch from 100 members of the Evolutionary Leaders Network to really create a global awareness about how we all are living in a holographic universe. And then we got tools for ascension. And that's an example of the shows that we had last week. Also, when you join the Global Peace Tribe, you're going to get an email next Monday that gives you all access to all of our previous shows, including last week's shows. So it's a wonderful way to learn, to be inspired, and to become part of this great community. And boy, we really are a beautiful growing community. And one of the wonderful ways that we've grown has been by collaborating with this woman. This is Tangela. And it was a little over a year ago that we met, and she immediately became one of my favorite people to collaborate with. She runs Soul Search. And if you haven't joined Soul Search yet, do it right now, like do it tonight, because Soul Search is the place where you're going to meet amazing healers and therapists, and where psychic fairs are happening all over the world. Every weekend, it seems like she's some other place doing an amazing event. So Soul Search, by the way, it's easy to join. Just go to soulsearch.io, soulsearch.io. And that's where you're going to learn all about things. Plus, Soul Search TV is coming. And it's certainly going to carry a lot of Awakening World shows and a lot of the amazing presenters that you meet. Welcome, Tangela.
Thank you, Scott. So happy to be here with all of you. Always exciting to be here at the Global Peace Tribe. Hello, everyone signing in from all over. I see, including El Salvador, Roseville, San Diego. So Scott, I always love co-hosting this show with you. You've built such an incredible community, and I just feel so blessed that we are a part of it and that we can just continue growing and building together.
Absolutely. Yeah. Now, you chose this topic, and it's a great topic. Tell us about what we're going to be doing tonight.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, actually, the topic was inspired by Melissa Fike, who is one of our presenters here. And I just loved it. She actually has an upcoming retreat about embodying your divine superpowers. And I just love that topic because, we're always talking about ascension, and we're here for this, evolutionary process that is upon us. And what does that mean for us as individuals? Well, one of the exciting things that it does mean for us is us reconnecting, remembering, and then embodying these superpowers that we all have. And, I'm really excited to hear from our presenters on what they think, the divine, and from their perspective, what are our divine superpowers? But, really, we as spiritual beings and human beings have incredible superpowers. And actually, all of our presenters here showcase them. And, at Soul Search, I have a lot of people who come to us all the time, and they're like, I would never be able to connect with, other realms. I would never be, they just think that this kind of multidimensional connection is something beyond, and only the gifts for a selected few. Whereas we know that that's just something we can all do. Like we all have these incredible abilities. And I think that's so exciting for us to, be able to dive into together. What are those and how do we reconnect to them? And I'm excited because all of our presenters today, have incredible superpowers themselves, and they're going to be helping us to dive in deep. And definitely we want to hear from our audience, all of you guys. One, what are your superpowers? What are some of your guys' divine superpowers? And then two, what are some of the superpowers that you're hoping to connect with? And from what the presenters are talking about, what are you excited about? What are you excited to dive into? I think this is going to be a fun show because this is, spiritual, multidimensional, but also practical, because this is talking about the things that we as individuals can really do, but so many of us have been programmed to forget. So, we're here to remember together.
So let's kick it off before we go to Omashore for some music. I really want to invite all of the people in our Zoom room to share. Don't be shy. Share with us at least one superpower that you have. And there's all sorts of, there's the superpower of being a great mother. There's the superpower of really being able to listen. There's the superpower of having a healing ability. So I really want to encourage people, don't be shy. Everybody, share with us at least one superpower that you have, that you're willing to claim. And then tonight, we're going to learn about some of the other superpowers. And I'll give an example. I'm going to acknowledge Tangela and some of her superpowers, because I've worked with her quite closely for the last year. And Tangela, I would say that your great the great superpower that comes to mind for me is that you do so much, but you do it all with love and positive energy. I don't know anybody who probably accomplishes more than you do. You accomplish a tremendous amount. But you do it with so much love and so much positive energy. So I just want to acknowledge that superpower within yourself.
Thank you so much, Scott. I really appreciate that and receive that. And I just want to say you have incredible superpowers as well, including your immense creativity that allows you to kind of create on, 3 times a week, create these incredible community opportunities and experiences for everyone around the world. And, not many people could do something like that, what you're doing, Scott. So it really takes huge creativity as well as, commitment, fortitude, and, and you love it. And what's so obvious is that you just love doing this and it's so fun for you. And I think that's such a beautiful thing. So thank you for sharing your superpower with us, because all of us get to also be a part of your creation. So thank you.
That's mutual collaboration and appreciation there. I'm going to read some of the superpowers that are already being put in our chat box. Sandra has the superpower of being a great artist, poet, and labyrinth for piecework. Nitya has the superpower of healing, and he tries to be the most compassionate nurse he can be. God bless you. That's such an important position. Laura Chamberlain's superpower is a loving, healing energy that seems to inspire people to continue to work for their own healing. Pat is divine love in human form. Atira is really good at getting people to work together. And Reverend Jeffrey doesn't have a superpower, he has a supper power. He has the supper power of his loveolution. No, seriously, Reverend Jeffrey, you are loveolution, which is the solution. And I'll just read one more. Carol has the superpower of being a teacher, empath, and activist of the environment, as well as premonitions. So see, you guys are off to a great start. Isn't this cool to be able to hear what our people are at? Let's go to the guy who has the superpower of creating songs that stay in our head for days. Tunes that are inspirational, melodies, the Paul McCartney
and bankable. And and something I'd like to add, Tangela and Scott, is the one word that was not mentioned when referring to you was grace. You do it all with such grace, and that is really a part of what tenders my heart. I watch you both spinning, so many plates that is way past your pay level, but it's done with such grace, and I honor that. It's an inspiration for me. I can do more. And so when I was advertising this week's superpower conference that we're having right now, I thought, what's my superpower? I know what, I can complete another song to debut tonight. And
wow.
So this is probably, I think this is the 8th song that I've premiered on The Awakening World. And this one's called Rainbow Nation. And we'll see how I do with it, because I only finished rehearsing it about an hour ago. So here we go with Rainbow Nation. Find my rainbow back thingy. Here it is. Here it is. There we go. That sounds like rainbow. Looks like a rainbow, doesn't it?
Awesome.
Right. Oh. love in our world. Showing our colors, raised by nation, higher frequencies, higher vibration, minds are open, love is flowing, lifting each other, yes we are growing, we are the light of our world, the light in our world, we are the joy in our world, the love in our world, showing our colors, rainbow nation, higher frequencies, higher vibration, minds are open, yes we are growing, love is flowing, lifting each other, we are the light of our world, the love in our world, we are the joy in our world, the love in our world. We are the heart of our world, the love in our world, the light in our
Gala review. Let's all twinkle.
world.
What a great new song.
It's a trip,
Wow.
man. When you learn a song and you haven't got it fully embodied, you have to read it, and it becomes a mental thing rather than a heart thing. So I hope I pulled it off. That's me asking for twinkles. Thank you.
Oh, lots of twinkles. That's a fantastic song. I love that one.
Yeah, Rainbow Nation, man. It just came to me, and I thought, wow, this is now.
Absolutely. We are Rainbow Nation. Hey, everybody, there's a great website that he has now. He's put a little into it. This is the new Omashara website. And thank you for welcoming beloved family. And this is where announcements, you can learn about the shows that he's doing, all about him, and of course, how to get to his music. And you can buy his music on all those places, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. So let's all support this man that we llove.
And
So-
out of all of those, Bandcamp gives you the most money back. With the other people, you get like a 0.0001%, but you get almost 75% of whatever someone pays for your CD on Bandcamp, because you can donate however much you want. So that's pretty cool. Thank you.
Bandcamp is the way to go. We're going to have 2 more songs from Omashara tonight. So stick around. Hey, I'm going to read a few more superpowers, and then Tangela is going to introduce our first guest. But a few of the other people that have come in. And by the way, Grace has asked you, Omashara, to publish the words. So maybe you can put the words into the chat box.
Of that song.
Yeah, for the song you just played.
Okay, cool.
And again, a reminder, everybody, give us what your superpowers already are. And hopefully you're going to learn some new ones tonight. Roger Tellefson, we love Roger. My superpower is being an empath. Absolutely, Roger. Sage, who we also love, is organizing people to care about nature and their environment, restoring habitats and working together to engage young and old into integrating art and social justice into their activism. She's a boots on the ground and art in the hearts kind of gal. So thank you, Sage. Susan is a really good empathic listener and freely lets people know that she loves them. That is a superpower. Our wonderful, wild, mystic monastery abbot Cherie writes, my superpower, grace. As I write the word, Omoshar said the word. I have the blessings of witnessing miracle healings. And you help facilitate those miracle healings, Cherie. So yes, Laura, these are cool superpower, and we are a powerful global peace tribe. I think I said everybody. Oh, a few more. Ayada, one of my superpowers is communing with the plant world and the natural world. That's a cool one. Mara writes, I'm really good at helping people organize. I'm reliable and I'm loyal. Julia has a superpower of teaching prosperity over wealth. That's interesting. We should have you on the show talking about that. All right, I'm going to read more a little bit later on, but I want to get to our first introduction. But I will, because I see several more came in. So we'll do more superpower readings. For you guys on Facebook, come on into the Zoom room. We want to know what your superpowers are. And we're going to go to Super Tangela to hear about our first guest.
Thanks, Scott. And yes, I'm very excited to be introducing our first guest, Lisa McArdle. She is the creator of Inner Wisdom Awakening and a best-selling author, speaker, transformational life coach, and Light Council channel. For more than 25 years, Lisa has been guiding influencers, executives through the process of awakening for expansion, finding purpose, and reclaiming true personal power the feminine way. She is passionate about supporting all souls to plug back into the source of which they were created to awaken their fullest potential and witness the magic of their extraordinary life. She just released her brand new book, The Palace of Light, Finding Your Way Home, which is an inspirational and practical guidebook for your journey of ascension. And it integrates channeled messages from the councils of light, handy stories, and spirits guidance, all to support you on your path of awakening. This was a very emotional process for Lisa, as I'm sure she's going to share with us. And so we're just really excited to be celebrating with her. Lisa also published this book with us with Soul Search support. And we also have a book publishing arm, and she worked with us to get this out there. And we're just really excited to be supporting her. And you can actually get the Kindle version for only $2.99 for the next few days on Amazon. I just got the Kindle version yesterday. And we're also throwing a virtual book launch party for Lisa and her new book, The Palace of Light, on Thursday, June 1st at 6:30 p.m. on Zoom. So definitely for all of you watching, we want you guys to be there to celebrate this book with us and dive in deeper, but really excited to welcome Lisa today. Welcome, Lisa, and congratulations.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here and for all the support through Soul Search and just everything it takes to get a book to the world. Holy wow. I have such respect for my author friends and folks because it is a journey of love. Yes.
Yay. Well, we're so excited to have you here and, just really want to hear about, what is the Palace of Light? What is this book that you have created for all of us and for the world?
Awesome. Well, here it is. I just arrived yesterday. We just went into launch mode yesterday. This is the first time I was able to touch the book, be with the book, hold the book. And I have to say the journey of having this come from my heart into my hands has been so profound. So the journey began 2 years ago, and I've known for decades that I'm to write a book, as many human beings do. I just heard an interesting statistic that 80% of the population wants to write a book. 2% actually do. So those are really interesting statistics of what it actually takes to get it all the way into that moment where you're holding it. So I've known for at least a decade that there was multiple books within me. And when COVID came to town, it was kind of like, we all got repositioned. I I've been calling it like AC and BC, like before COVID and after COVID, because there's a marked difference of our lives and the transformation that we all took. And during that time, it just became really eminent that it was time, and the messages started coming through. And so it became this journey of writing a tool guide for ascension, because in my perspective, COVID was really accelerating the ascension portal and the awakening that we were moving through in consciousness as we were going through a pivot, a pause, and a redirection, I would call it. And so I began letting it pour through me. And what became really clear is that there was 5 pillars, at least from what was being shared with me through spirit, of ascension. And so pillar 1 is about presence. And so we moved into presence. And then pillar 2 was moving into a deepening connection. And then pillar 3 was deconstruction. And when I got to that phase, literally the linchpin of my life started pulling. And not only was I writing about these tools, but then I moved through a pretty heavy opportunity, we'll call it, of deconstructing my own life. And so the tools came, and what ascension means, and a bit of a very practical, very easily digested description of ascension and dimension shifting, and really bringing some of these, higher quantum concepts into really digestible form. And so all of a sudden I was sitting there finding that my home was being sold. My dream home was being sold. It was time to move in a market that was insane, a California market in the middle of COVID, and a very desirable area, needing to move and coming into a deep reconciliation that my partner of 15 years and I were also needing to separate. And on came a journey that I was by no means prepared for. But about 7 weeks after we separated, and after I found where I was going to live, he actually unexpectedly died. And so in the middle of a journey and of writing this book, I literally went through a dark night of the soul. So the beauty of the deliverance is that it became a really kind of a memoir style of what deconstruction at its depths really looks like. And so I share very vulnerably the process that I went through of my own death, exploring death, being initiated by death, and the resurrection and the rebirth and the remembrance that comes in a way that you can only really obtain when you are asked to hand it all over. So that's the journey. It's filled with a lot of tears and a lot of laughter, because it is the journey of resurrection and rebirth that all of humanity is walking through right now. And so it becomes a tool guide for the process.
Wow. Thank you, Lisa. So that is a very personal journey that you are walking everyone through here, as you talk about, as you're talking about ascension and this rebirth, this resurrection and rebirth process, but it's also obviously it's the global community and the individual, and you're just demonstrating that for us through your work.
Yeah. And it's really a collective walk right now. I mean, the entire planet is grieving. We have had to say goodbye to who we perceived we were just 2 years ago. And everything that we believed from that other lens that was secure. How many people are leaving locations? I left my 27-year community, which brought me to Sedona, and at the end of much of that. So the motto really is attached to nothing and allow for everything, but we're really living that in actualized time right now collectively. And one of the biggest messages of the book is that you're not alone doing this. And so my hope in the deliverance of it is that other sacred souls, such as yourselves, really can come to that point to know that we are literally walking each other home to a higher remembrance and to a sovereign and free sacred expression of ourselves that is holy and whole. And sometimes we have to deconstruct massively to get there. So we're doing it. It's not easy, but it's worth it.
Wow. Well, thanks, Lisa. And then so in terms of this, this walking each other home. I think it's so important you brought that up because, you know, so many do feel alone. And a lot of what we do with the Global Peace Tribe and Soul Search, you know, it's about, you know, creating community and building community. How do you feel, you know, like, how has that been for you, like through this process? And how do you see that looking for everyone else as we are going through into this ascension? And, you know, where do you see our divine superpowers coming into all of this? You know, so I'd love to just kind of hear you.
I love that. Well, I consider community to be you and I tied together in commonality, right? And so the more we set ourselves to understanding that the illusion of third dimensionality is separation, and, you know, everything we long for, desire, is this perception that it somehow exists outside of ourselves, so we'll be better in the having of it. I do believe that the ultimate superpower of humanity is to break the great illusion and to remember that the unity of consciousness, and that we are all the resonance of one light, of one form, and of one expression, and that the rest is just a big old illusion that we are playing through for an evolutionary sequence and frequency. So the superpower is to remember, and the superpower is to own it, and the superpower is to crush the illusions. But I would say that so many on the planet right now are feeling that separation. What I'm witnessing, what I'm experiencing, and with the people I'm blessed to support in this awakening journey, I would say the biggest thing that's coming up right now is a lot of the shadows of unity, a lot of the illusions. There's a lot riding through our systems about scarcity and lack. And that scarcity and lack, it's showing up in terms of money, time, love, abundance, you know, in the key things. So my sense is that as we're in the deconstruction phase, pillar 4 of the book is ascension, right? So we are going to get to the other side of it. But in that deconstruction phase, all of this illusion is playing through where it's getting really loud. You know, the pieces that are put into place to distract us from the truth of our light and the truth of our unity, they're getting really loud. In the book, I describe it, the pain body, as entities, but also as like, as you're collapsing them, they're getting loud, they're holding on, they're clawing in to really hold on. They know this is their last attempt to stay here in, and you know, as we're off planeting and evolving into a new consciousness. So the opportunity at hand is to not attach to these lower things, to witness them, and to choose to come back into a sense that you would not long for something if it was not already alive within you. And so if you're finding yourself feeling as if you are separate or missing community or walking the path alone, the opportunity is to pivot on demand. Like everything we're doing right now, we get to this edge and we're like, this isn't working, and we pivot on demand, we make a turn. So if you're not finding your people, it means that you get to turn, you get to take a turn to the left or the right and just walk in another direction, because we are all here. This is soul family time. And we are deconstructing the karmic agreements that we have in our relationships. And we're opening up to the cellular agreements we have to welcome our soul family in. So if you're experiencing loneliness, know that it's part of the deconstruction phase and it is an illusion. And that in the next breath, in the next turn, like, stop seeking outside, go inside, listen for your divine direction, follow its wisdom. You'll pivot and your people are waiting right there for you. Like, we're all here. We're all here. We just have to turn the corners sometimes and deconstruct the illusions and open up a little bit. And there we all are. We're all waiting for each other.
Lisa, you're on fire tonight. You are absolutely just rocking it. I'm going to read some of the comments, and there's a couple questions here.
Okay, cool.
And I love your whole thing about pivot. Like, yeah,
Pivot on demand. That just came through.
on demand. I've never heard those words together before. That's a great, is that you now have a Lisa McArdleism. So Reverend Jeffrey, of course, reminds us to pick and pivot into the direction of Lovolution. And he goes on to say, we are in a realignment phase, which is a must to realign to our nature with nature. Now, Grace Denise says, wow, thank you for this powerful sharing about your higher path learning and also about writing. I have several books in me, but I've been finding daily practice and consistency and visibility a struggle. So would you have any advice to Grace?
Yes, absolutely. And I love that your name is Grace. My advice would be to honor the grace that is within you and just write. Just write. So I spent a lot of time taking a lot of workshops and things trying to figure out the magic formula for writing. And the truth is, just do it. I'm not a person who can write. All the businesses I've created, I've never had a business plan. Like the Aquarian in me does not do structure well. So if you're seeking for structure, maybe just move as you're called to move. The beauty is to write. And so how this book came about was I did carve out time. I did sit in intention. I did allow the space for it to occur. And then I just wrote whatever wanted to come through. And so I ended up with this huge tapestry of things that I in turn got to kind of weave together into a journey that now sits in form. So if there's a call in your heart, then just sit in the grace of that which is holy and let it pour forth.
Beautiful. Thank you. A few more comments. Carol Craig writes, so true. Attachment to nothing. My refrigerator died today. I just dealt with it and was grateful that it's been a while. And then she goes on about that. But absolutely. I mean, even if it's something as simple as that. Laura Chamberlain brings up that there are huge numbers of humans leaving the planet over these last 3 years, and that will probably continue, and that it feels overwhelming sometimes. Wanda writes, Lisa, you are a warrior, and out of darkness comes the light. Big hugs from Wanda in Texas. And Carol Craig writes, sending you healing energy of strength, Lisa Marie. I also went through a lot, losing my husband to COVID 11 months ago. So acknowledging the grief and all that you went through. Yeah, a lot of people coming in just saying thank you. All right, well, let's talk about how we can get more Lisa McArdle. And it's by going to her website, which I just put into the chat box, or actually Tangela did, but it's her name, Lisa McArdle, McCardle.com. There it is. There's the book. Very exciting. Of course, obviously click here to purchase the book. And Lisa, is there any other, of course, everybody put in your name and join her email list. This is, just so important for our guests that we love as much as we love Lisa, to be able to stay in touch with you, let you know what she's doing and all the good things coming up. So I just did that, and I will leave a review on Amazon.
Yay. Yes, and I give a one of my beautiful activations as a gift for that exchange. So thank you. It's greatly appreciated.
Absolutely. Anything else you want to point out on your website?
Well, if you go back to the front page, just click on Lisa McArdle. There you go, and scroll down a little bit. I would just like to say there is another place basically to go ahead, scroll down beyond the fold. There is a link below that will give us a heart connection call. And that's a 15-minute time where we get together on Zoom face-to-face. I'd love to hear your story and your experience. There it is in the gold. I'd love to hear your experience of what you are walking through and find grace in walking it together.
Lisa, that's a really beautiful offering that you're providing people. Thank you.
Of course, it's my pleasure.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Grace Denise just bought your book. So thank you, Grace.
Thank you. That's amazing. We just went to #1 today, so I am celebrating that, and that was very exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Lisa. And stick around. We are going to have a Q&A with all of our Divine Superpower people towards the end of the show, or at the end of the show, I should say. So if you have questions for Lisa, we'll be able to ask her. And Tangela, you're about to introduce a new musical artist.
I am. And I just wanted to invite everyone again. You got a taste of Lisa today. So if you want to dive in deeper with her, join us on Thursday, June 1st for her virtual book launch party. She'll be reading some of her poetry, parts of her book, maybe even doing some channeling for us from the light councils. So again, that's going to be a really amazing experience. So I would love for all of you guys to join us for that. And then now I'm very excited to be introducing our next guest, musical artist. And Scott, I don't know if you know this, but I know one of your favorite guests of ours from Soul Search is Vowline, and she was on the show this past week. And Stephen is actually her husband and partner.
I do know that. They actually both came when I had parties in Sedona that I hosted. You weren't there, but they were.
Yeah.
So I've had the good pleasure to
Great parties.
Yeah.
So we're so excited to be having Vowline on the show, but excited to have Stephen Vowline on the show tonight. And he is such an amazing and accomplished multi-instrumentalist producer, vocalist. He plays the guitars, bass, keyboards. He's a touring band artist. He has more than 200 self-produced and composed records and over 25 years in the music industry. Stephen's co-produced, recorded with dozens of bands in California, Hawaii, Washington, Brazil, Uruguay, Germany, and has toured and performed in over 20 countries worldwide. His playing style is blues, Latin, jazz, funk, folk, rock in acoustic or electric modes. And he actually recently formed a band called Sedona Aloha, which includes longtime musical brother Stephen Brown, featuring Brazilian jazz, classic rock, originals, and world music. So, Stephen, welcome to the show. We're so excited to have you with us tonight.
Certainly my pleasure to be here. I was so surprised to get the invite to come on to this forum. I love and appreciate all of you people. I've had the pleasure to work with Lisa doing her audiobook for the Palace of Light over the last few weeks. And I just want to tell you, I am totally thrilled and amazed. Lisa is an amazing person, and her book is, it turned me on big time. That it's if you want to get into your participation in the ascension, get her book. Just get it. Do it. Don't even hesitate. And as for me, yeah, I lived in Maui for the last for about 10 years, and before that I was touring in Brazil for about 7 years, where I met my wife Iara, who was just mentioned. And she's off to Maui today. Doggone it, I couldn't do it. Somebody had to watch the cat. But anyway, I'm really very happy to have arrived in Sedona about 1.5 years ago. We did a manifestation workshop together, and as a result of that manifestation workshop, we manifested a house here. We weren't even looking for a house to buy, but we couldn't find anything for rent. And so we ended up just saying yes, 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 and yes again. And suddenly here we are. And I mean, the community here has been just a really amazing place. And I got to plant a garden. That's one of my superpowers. And I love growing. I love nature spirit. This place where we landed is actually in the middle of a forest, a national park forest. It's not like a big pine tree forest, but it is a huge desert forest. And it's amazing. We have deer and just every kind of animal you could think of walking through our yard pretty much every day. And I got to put my recording studio together. And I'm taking a bit of a break from touring because I did a lot of touring for many years, and this has just been so fun to just hang out here, grow food, and get to know everybody in the community, including you, who I am just so impressed by you. I don't know anybody else that's like you. It's just you're such a go-getter, and you manifest these incredible psychic fairs, which by the way, I want to play at one. But I think that you're an amazing being, and I'm very happy to know you. Yeah.
And
So,
of course, you are welcome to perform at any of our psychic fairs anytime. So we'll for that.
well, thank you. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to do a song here. It's called Keep On Loving. This is my wife's favorite song of mine, that out of the new ones that I've written lately. It's a happy song, and it's about, the fact is that no matter what happens, or whether you don't understand what the heck is going on, the one thing that you can do, and that we all should do, is to keep on loving. And that means, when somebody is bad-mouthing you or telling a wrong story, something that's not even true, just find it inside yourself to say, well, that person just doesn't know. And it's okay, because then you see that love, and it just erases all that weirdness, So I do mostly, these days, I have a duo, and we are actually doing a lot of world music. My touring escapades have all been kind of rock and roll and blues for the last 25 years. But my dream has always been to do more world music, like Latin and Brazilian and so on. This is a reggae tune. So I don't know if you can you hear everything? Gotta keep on loving, even if you don't understand what's going on. Gotta keep on loving, even if you don't understand what's going on. Gotta find yourself. You gotta find yourself. You gotta find yourself in the middle. You're a diamond in the rough, and now it's time to say enough. And now it's time to know you are the one. Danger is always around us. You know that. Ever very far from a fall. The angels will come and protect us. But all you have to do is call. Gotta keep on loving. Gotta keep on loving. Gotta keep on loving each other. Gotta keep on loving. Gotta keep on loving. Gotta keep on loving each other. Well, you're a diamond in the rough. And now it's time to say enough. And now it's time to know you are the one. Danger is always around us. We're never very far from a fall. The angels will come protect us. And all we have to do is call. You want to say it with me? Gotta keep on loving. Gotta keep on loving. Gotta keep on loving each other. Yeah. Gotta keep on loving. Gotta keep on loving. Gotta keep on loving each other.
What a beautiful song and what a perfect message. I'm going to go to gallery view. Let's give our new friend and guest, Stephen, some good twinkling here.
Thank you.
You know, that's a really very beautiful and pertinent and important message. So what's your superpower of finding a way to love even when it's hard?
Wow. Well, about 30 years ago, I went through 3 levels of practicing Reiki. And I eventually, yes, I got the Reiki master. And I don't know if anybody else has got that level of Reiki in this group, but I will tell you that when you get there, it's all consuming. It's like every day it's on. It never goes off, really. And so some of the superpowers that come with that are the ability to read into people. I try to kind of be a little bit reserved about, doing that, because it's sometimes screaming at me. Well, I just meet somebody for the first time and they're telling me something and I'm going, it's not real, And so I'm able to, facilitate helping people that really want to grow spiritually. And so I started a life coaching service, consciouslifecoaching.org. And I started doing that a few years ago. Actually, it was just before COVID. And then when COVID came along, I guess, everything kind of went, silent for a minute. And then it just boomed. And I found really it was a great part of my calling and who I am and what I'm supposed to be doing. And I guess, I'm the kind of person who loves first and criticizes second. So I try to continue to be that way as much as I possibly can.
Beautiful. I'm glad that I asked. And I think what we'll do is definitely put that link into the chat box about your coaching. We'll talk about that after your next song. But want to remind everybody that you can find this beautiful album that he's done. I listened to part of it already today. It's Bliss Music for Yoga and Deep Relaxation. You can find it on Spotify. Again, we'll put the link into the chat box. And you can also find him on Facebook. And so obviously Stephen, provides a lot. He provides coaching and he provides music. And here's his Facebook page. So you can learn more about him. You can message him on Facebook, and he's got some information about his new duo. So Stephen, it's just beautiful to have you with us, and you are blessed to be with such a wonderful woman, and she is blessed to
Oh
be
my God.
here.
You're right about that. I think that's one of my superpowers, actually. When we met each other, it was recognition. And that was 15 years ago, believe it or not. And I was kind of like a newbie traveling in Brazil. I was actually going to leave Brazil because I had expired my visa. And I met her 2 weeks before I left. And she said, come back. And I said, well, if you could help me get a job playing music in Brazil, that would be cool. She did. And then she became my manager and got me all kinds of amazing gigs. And the press took off with my whole thing, and I just became, well known in Brazil, and which was pretty remarkable. I wasn't expecting anything like that at all, but it did happen, and I do go back from time to time. Every other year or so, I go back and I do a tour or I play some shows, and they're usually sold out. So I'm really happy
Yes.
about all that. Yeah.
And when you're not in Brazil, Brazil is with you through the form of your beautiful wife.
Yeah. Sorry, you're cut out a
Oh,
little bit. I couldn't hear that.
I said when you're not in Brazil, Brazil is with you in the form of Yara, your wife. Yeah.
Yes, you got that right. And I do speak some Portuguese too, so I can keep the vibe happening.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much. And we're going to hear another song from Stephen a little bit later on in the show. And I'll turn it back over to Tangela.
Peace out.
Thank you. Thank you, Stephen. That was beautiful. Love the song. And thanks, Scott. And I'm excited to be introducing our next guest, Melissa Fike. She is a best-selling author and channel and master of Akashic Records. She supports spiritual adventures and raising their vibration and aligning with their authentic path. Melissa uses metaphysical topics, ancient practices, and the Akashic records to help you heal and transcend your past lower frequencies. This is how you anchor in more of their higher consciousness so you can live your life purpose and mission. She is the best-selling author of A Radical Approach to the Akashic Records, Master Your Life, Raise Your Vibration, and creator of Activating Ascension classes, Intuitive Development certifications, and Akashic Records certifications taught through her Spiritual Expansion Academy. And Melissa is the inspiration for this show today because she actually has a retreat coming up next weekend in Sedona on embodying your divine superpowers. So, welcome, Melissa, to the show. Thank you for inspiring this show, and definitely want to hear, what does it mean to be divine, embodying our divine superpowers? What is that about? What can we expect? Want to just dive in deep with you. Welcome.
Awesome. Well, yeah, thanks so much, Tangela, and my beautiful friend Scott, and everyone else, because I have a lot of friends here. So why that came to me, embodying your divine superpowers, what Spirit was telling me at the time is that, like, everybody was writing down all the things that they're really good at in the human level. And then a lot of times people are like, well, I feel disconnected from parts of myself. So what Spirit was saying, and I channel these, I call them the Ascension Councils. There are many of them, and they're not like my guides. They're actually here for the Ascension, and I work with them specifically around the Ascension because as an Ascension teacher, I need that information to share, right? So when they were coming through with this, what they said is, we're at a new precipice of evolution. And the superpowers that people are to now embody is more of the balancing energies. And that's coherence, mind, heart, gut coherence. That's where you kind of live from a wholeness, living from your toroidal field, which is your full energy system when all of your chakras and everything are aligned. And the third one that they talk about a lot is spiritual heart. I don't hear a lot of people talk about spiritual heart. When I talk about it, I think that they misunderstand what I mean by that. Your spiritual heart, you have three hearts. You have your physical heart, ba-boom, ba-boom. And then you have your heart chakra. And then you have what's called the spiritual heart. This is something the gurus talk about, but it's a very esoteric, hidden mystery and quiet. It's mostly spoken about within the Kundalini energy. And what they've told me is that when we activate our spiritual heart, we are able to fully embody the ascension energies and assist others. And because we're becoming a higher frequency, that's how we are assisting others. It's not even through teaching or doing these beautiful things. That's a piece of it. but it's the energy that you're holding that matters. So they are talking about, when they're talking about like embodying your divine superpowers, it's about what is the frequency that you are holding, that you are emanating out. And it can show up with being an empath, speaking to plants. I was just thinking about that today, about some things plants have told me recently. And so all of these things are part of our divine superpowers, but it's the bigger picture, because as we move toward the ascension, it's really about, and I know I'm repeating myself, embodiment. Embodiment means that you're holding the energy, you're holding the frequency. So it's not just, oh, I'm clairvoyant. It's, I'm holding the awareness of and the frequency of seeing beyond the illusion, about seeing your beautiful soul essence, right? So that's embodiment. It's not about I see a flower. It's about like, what are you perceiving as well? And what I love about superpowers is that most people think that they are elusive. What also they wanted to share about this, the Essential Masters, is that when you embody your superpowers, those are the energetic imprints that are already in your blueprint and your soul blueprint. So it's already there. They're not something outside of you. They're already part of your essence. And that's what they want you to kind of recognize. So it's like you're allowing that in instead of trying to find it or do it or be it. So you're allowing it to come through into your life. And I, when I talk about superpowers also, I love, my favorite thing, and this is one of my superpowers actually, is when I work with people, I take them on really profound journeys. Their experiences are multidimensional, and they feel and see and hear different things, and they feel more empowered, which is really where we need to be. And empowerment isn't power. Empowerment is heart wisdom coming from a place of divine service. So when you combine your heart wisdom and divine service, you are empowered. And that's what I like to activate in people, help them activate their spiritual heart and help them cohere. And I will talk a little bit about coherence if you want me to, or if you have a question, let me know. I will go on and on about everything. So coherence is about utilizing the heart frequency so that you are aligning your ego voice and your mind, and aligning it and allowing that heart and mind to meld. And then also the body mind. A lot of people don't talk about coherence in the body mind. That's around your gut area. The reason that is important is because we're human beings. We still have a physical form, and we're still dealing with this physical form. We're dealing with all the emotional components of this physical form. So when you bring them all together into the heart, what happens is it activates. And then it activates the toroidal field, the torus. So the torus moves out, it emanates out through the heart energy, out, moves up through the crown and around like a donut, back down all the way below your feet, back up to the root chakra or perineum, and back up around, and it goes around that way. And then also it goes down past your feet, up and around. So it goes both ways. And when you are activating that full toroidal field, your chakra systems become one energy system. And that's another superpower, because we're moving from the energy of separation, right? That's old. That's our old paradigm. Look, we're still living in it, but we're at the precipice of moving through that. So that separation energy, separate chakras. Back in 2011, I was at an event in Denver and I got all these like really profound downloads. And one of them was they were telling me how it's one chakra, one chakra. And they kind of, I'm a terrible artist, but I drew something and then I didn't know what it was, but I kept on thinking about it and reading. Like I was like, what is this? And I couldn't find it. And then I found the toroidal field and I was like, oh, that's what they were telling me. So it really helped me understand it even more because we're moving from the separation of individual chakras into one chakra system, one energy field. And that is also to embody those divine superpowers, to cohere, to activate all levels. If that makes sense. Any questions? I don't want to like just talk at you guys. Um, so please, if
You
you
know,
have any questions.
talking about coherence is important. So what are ways that, kind of staying in the theme of embodying our divine superpowers, how do we become coherent and come into coherence with our higher self?
Yeah, well, beautiful. Great question. Really, you have to activate the heart chakra. And when you start activating the heart chakra and letting the movement of energy up and down that sushumna or the center point that moves through the crown to the root. There's that center column, that's the Sushumna. Um, when that energy is moving, flowing, and your heart energy is more open, um, you will start to cohere. What happens is our mind tells us one thing, our heart's telling us another, and it's resisting and pulling away and separating the energies. So I always tell people acknowledge the mind and then move into the heart. And I have some jokes around it. I tell people have your ego play in the playground of your heart wisdom. Don't assume knowledge is important. Like knowledge means nothing. It's not until you marry it with the heart is it wisdom. And those are all ways to cohere. And really, Kundalini energy definitely coheres your head, heart, and gut a lot. So opening up that channel and recognizing when you're in your head. People will tell me they're never in their head. They don't think, and I see it all the time. I'm bringing them always back to their heart, back to their body mind. We tend to disassociate from our body mind, but in order to cohere, you have to clear out some of those lower chakras. I mean, it's not a pretty thing and it's not all love and light because it's sometimes not so much fun, but it is very powerful when you do that clearing.
And Melissa, we have a question coming in from Susan Bloomquist. Please define Kundalini.
Okay, so Kundalini, whew, that's a big one. So there is this fear around Kundalini energy. And the reason that there's a fear is because some people say, well, if you activate it too fast, it will create problems and certain things like that. Um, what it's doing is Kundalini moves, is an energy flow, and it moves up, and it's like a lightning bolt of frequency, and it comes from your perineum, from your root chakra, and it emanates up. It's this coiled snake, and what it does is it pushes through all what they call the samskaras. A samskara are your blocks, are your shadows, are the lower frequencies that you have, and as you move it upward, it opens up your spiritual channel from eighth chakra, by the way, to root and below. And when I was first taught Kundalini, they always talked about like it moving upward. That is not true. at least from my experience, Kundalini moves all sorts of ways. It moves up, it moves down, it moves out. It's kind of sometimes the toroidal field. It feels like a jolt. Um, Kundalini is really about opening up all of your um, full intuitive or superpowers, like all of them come online. But it is working through that. So it's an energy. Gurus didn't like to talk about it too much. And it was more because it's kind of a hidden mystery. And you had to be at a certain adeptness for that to be awakened. And some gurus actually would activate your Kundalini as well. That's the short version. It is a complex answer, so I can't really give you the complexity of it.
There are lots of ways that people can get more answers from you, and that's by going to your website. And her website is her name. It's Melissa, Melissa, Fike, Feick.com, melissafike.com. And I'm going to go to the website. And what's wonderful is that the moment you go, she's offering you this beautiful divine love meditation. I just filled out the information. I'm ready to receive it, and I'm looking forward to it. And what else would you like for us? And I'm accepting your cookies. What else, Melissa, would you like for us to know about when we come to your website?
Actually, I also have my Sedona retreat. It is Memorial Weekend. It is really around the corner. I do have some openings, so if anyone wants to embody their divine superpowers, if and for my friends at Global Peace Tribe, if you're close enough to Sedona, so it's in Sedona, you may absolutely come. And I have a special coupon for like it's a nice little gift. It's $222 off, which is it's a simple coupon. It's SR23 is the coupon. S like Sam, R, so it's spiritual Sedona Retreat 23. That's the coupon. Make it simple. Um, and I also have an amazing something else that's coming up. You can find it on my website about embodying the ascension. And
Beautiful.
that's online.
Mhm. And again, you can find that by going to her website and then just putting in /Sedona Retreat, /Sedona Retreat. And I'm putting this into our chat box right now, Melissa. Say one more time what the code is.
SR23.
And is that big S or little R, or does it matter?
Yes, it's capital.
Capital S, capital R?
Yes.
Okay. It's now in the chat box.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. Well, again, Melissa's going to stay and answer some questions for us. When we have kind of our Q&A time, a lot of comments coming in that people are really appreciating very much. So thank you. And, I had a wonderful evening last night. I was in Ashland, Oregon, and I had the pleasure of seeing Honey of the Heart play. It's the second time I've seen them live. They actually live in the Grass Valley, Nevada City area. And it was the kickoff of a tour that they're doing. And their concert was so beautiful. Their music is exquisite. Now, some of you remember them. They've been on this show many times before. But I love my Global Peace Tribe, and I so enjoy Honey of the Heart. So I actually pulled out one of the videos of a previous performance that they did for us, and I'm going to play it. It's a duo, and they have a beautiful daughter. Justin is an incredible, as you're about to see, he's a world-class guitar player. And then his wife, Marin, is an amazing singer. She's also a nonviolent communication teacher, which I just learned. So anyway, let's all drop in to some Honey of the Heart, one of our favorite bands that blesses us. And here we go.
tears of the sea, saturated,
All right.
permeated, sensation pours through me. Hearing the booming bird song and the bass move on as we adjust to where we belong between gentle and strong. Hearing all this heart and just say Milky Way.
They are amazing. Aren't they just fantastic?
They are. Some people didn't see the video, unfortunately.
You
They
know,
were-
I saw those messages, especially from Jerry. It seemed like Jerry was the main one. I don't know if you have it on, maybe if you have it on speaker view instead of gallery view. I'm not quite sure what that challenge was, and I didn't know what to do. I did see the messages from you, Jerry. So was there anybody else besides Jerry who wasn't able to see the video? If so, put that in the chat box. And I do want to let people know that they are going to be on tour. They just kicked it off. So some of the places they're going to be in Bend, Oregon, then Vashon Island, Port Angeles, those are all in Washington, Chimkawam, Seattle, Portland, and then they're going to finish in Ashland. And I will be at the Ashland, Oregon concert on June 1st. And you can learn much more about them just by going to their website. And their website is their name, Honey of the Heart. And I'll put that in briefly. Here's their website. And definitely you can learn again more about their upcoming shows. Also, they've got some great gigs. Join their email list if you like their music. They're fantastic. And we love Honey of the Heart. And we love Tangela. And Tangela, how was that song, that musical piece for you?
I loved it. Oh my God. I've actually never heard of them before. So they were amazing. Thank you for introducing them to us. Yeah. I mean, really like incredible on the guitar. Yeah. The Latin vibes. I just like loved all like the rhythm, like all of it. It was really amazing. I'd love to see them live. Too bad they're not coming to Sedona.
I'll talk to them about it.
Next.
I'll see what I can arrange.
But they're amazing. So thanks for sharing, Scott.
Absolutely. And you're about to introduce us to a brand new friend of the Awakening World.
Sure. Well, actually, I think Lori has
Oh,
been
you're right.
on
Lori's
the show
next.
before.
I got ahead of myself. I was
So
seeing
Lori's
Cherie,
next.
but you're right.
And then we have our brand new friend coming in, Cherie, as well. So excited for both Lori and Cherie. But Lori is up next. She is the owner of Wellness Within, and she's a transformational holistic practitioner of over 25 years, trained in homeopathy and soul regression hypnotherapy. I actually just did a soul regression with her recently, and it was amazing. As an adjunct, she works as an energy receptor and translator, which entails medical intuition, channeling, speaking light language, and as a shamanic practitioner. She works with light codes, sacred geometry, and transmits, activates, and recalibrates dormant DNA in order to raise the soul's vibration. Lori does individual work, she does group work, and she also is the author of Oh No, Not Another Learning Experience, A Metamorphosis. Through her work, she shares the foundational message of her book, Our Learning Experiences and Life Lessons Carry Us Along the River of Life to Help Us Evolve. And she also does spiritual adventures and tours around the world. And I actually had the pleasure of being with her in Mount Shasta last summer. And she has upcoming retreats in Glastonbury and southern France, which I am sure are going to be amazing opportunities to embody our divine superpowers. So Lori, welcome to the show. Always great to be with you and exciting to see you here, and welcome.
Thank you for having me, and thank you to Scott also for having me, and great introduction as always. Thanks. And for being with everybody tonight. Such a beautiful group gathered together tonight. I have a lot of little pieces I'd like to share, some things that I'm working on, but first I'd like to just talk about superpowers. And so my feeling about superpower is the contribution that we bring, our dharma that we come in with to fulfill the role that we're in our life on earth here. And somebody mentioned quite early on about the shadow side. And I have this feeling that through the shadow side is what pushes us into our desire to know more about ourselves, to remember ourselves. So I'm going to talk a little bit about remembering, because I think that's what we're all doing right now. What's coming up for all of us is a remembering from other times and what it has to do with our current time and the Dharma that we bring in, and again, our contribution. And so you mentioned that I am well, I should say I've got two particular superpowers that I kind of think of it for myself. And the first is curiosity. I did a shamanic journey many, many years ago, and I was in my sacred garden, and what showed up was a little monkey. And what it was symbolic to me was curiosity. And that is probably the real heart and core of myself. But that's what pushes me also into expanding and growing and evolving, is that when I reach a certain level or of knowing something, it just moves me into my next level, because there's always this deep curiosity. I want to know more. I want to know more. And also I am a receiver, transmitter, translator, and communicator of energy, as many people are, but it is one of my ways of experiencing energy is understanding it and then translating it, so that I can help to connect the dots for people, for myself. And I work with many, many different entities and spirits, and oh my gosh, over the years of receiving information, I've worked with so many, with other people's different spirits that they work with, and then many of my own that come in. And so I want to share a little bit about what I've been working on, which kind of leads me into this. I've been working with a quantum biologist, Dr. Glenn Rain, and we are working on what and how energy affects DNA. And so one of the particular well, I'll back up. He has worked with heart math, and let's see, he's worked with Carolyn Corey. He's worked, he was a professor at Mount Sinai Hospital. So it's a real privilege to work with him. And he has the ability to understand and calculate information, and I can read the energy and the information. So what we've been working on is I've been bringing in certain light from certain beings and transferring it into DNA. And then we calculate and see what it does with the DNA. So I'll share with you one of the energies that came in was the Arcturian commander Ashtar. And Mary Magdalene was another. And then I work with a stream of massive consciousness, emissaries of light. One particular in that stream of consciousness names itself Megalithicon, and I call it Mega for short. And so we calculated many of these beings that have come in, but I'm going to share with you three that I have calculated here. And so we've checked when it first came in what the energy percentage was that came in, and then over a period of time and continued period of time. And they came in at a certain percentage, and then they all were increased over a period of time. And one of them, actually, Commander Ashtar, his frequency actually changed the DNA. The frequency of the DNA actually changed, I should say. So this is like, it changed it to a whole new frequency. So this shows us how to work with energy, how these particular beings work with us, what they have to share with us, and over a period of time, how it increases our energy. Now, we know this, anybody who has done energy work, you realize that what the experiences when you're doing some energy work. But this offers the opportunity to understand this in a deeper way, and what it does and how it changes and how it shifts the DNA. And DNA right now to us is everything. We're understanding so much about ourselves through our DNA. So what I wanted to also share along with that information is that's one expression of receiving and understanding and translating and communicating the energy. I've been working with another gentleman, Robert Perala, and I actually, what happens is a lot of people bring me things to read, or they'll ask me to read for them. And so Robert came to me some time ago and brought me some codes. And he asked me, can you read these? And I said, sure. So I began to read, and it's very profound information that's coming through these codes. It's very connected to the Egyptian pyramids, and it has a lot to do with what the physicists are trying to find, that God particle. So this is opening this information up, and this is only like one page in a booklet of pages of codes of information, which we are unraveling at this present time. So and that leads me into why I'm doing retreats. So for me, I've done retreats for quite a while. I think back in 2008 is when I began. And one of the retreats we did back then was to Peru. And I had one of the most, when you can look back on your baby book, okay, and you've got all this information throughout your life, right? I would say probably one of the very top happenings in my life was at Aramu, Meru, where I had 3 light beings show up, and I almost dematerialized at that point. And they asked me if I wanted to go with them. I declined at that time, but obviously, but what they gave to me in place of that was this opportunity that they brought this energy, and we talk about love and light, and we've all experienced love and light, but this was what I would consider to date in my life the greatest experience of love and light and embodiment. I know people surrounding me actually said that I was glowing, and I can imagine that this was the energy that was transmitting. But really what it was is I was just experiencing the fullest part of myself in embodiment. So where I'm going with this is that this is why I've put together these retreats, because I feel that the experience is so powerful. It can change our lives forever. That experience changed my life forever. It allowed me to realize more that this is what I wanted other people to experience. If I could give it to everybody, I would have, or would feel the desire to want to do that. But it's through our own experience that we learn to come into this. And right now, this sacred feminine is it's the medicine that we need in our world of chaos right now. So I am going to bring people to experience the magic and mystery of sacred England in August 14th through 19th. We're going to do experience the 7 chakras of Glastonbury, and probably more the upper chakras, but there are different points, and Glastonbury being the heart of the world, heart chakra. So I think when we talk about expansiveness, I think that's the place to really experience that expression. It will bring us back into the days of Avalon and King Arthur and the fact that King Arthur, through the help of Merlin, could pull the sword out of the stone. And I'm just intrigued about all of that. I want to understand more of that. And Merlin, he has many faces, and he's been here many times and goes back through history. So I want to bring some of that in. We're going to go to Stonehenge and experience that. And that just goes without saying, the energy of Stonehenge. We're going to go to crop circles. Crop circles are two-dimensional. And what we're going to do is expand them into 3-dimension and understand who brings them and what they have to share. So by channeling and receiving these transmissions, we'll be able to open up to this information. And then the serpent stones too of Avebury. They're ancient. They're over 2,000 years BC, and it's a British temple there. So there's lots to be explored in magical and mystery, sacred England. And then we go on to 9 days in south of France, and you can do one or both parts. I've kind of put them together for people that might be interested in all of it. I'm interested in all of it. So it's like I can't get enough of that. And we're going to do, this is the Path to Enlightenment with Mary Magdalene. And it's a very holy and sacred journey. We're going to do a deep dive into learning about, well, we're going to go to Lourdes first and receive some holy healing water there. We're going to uncover the Black Madonna. Right now, I channel a group of collective goddesses, which is a few of them are Mary Magdalene, Mother Mary, Sophia, Kuan Yin, and a few others, Isis, I'm forgetting a few of them, but they come as a collective, each having their own aspect, and they're going to be so impactful for us on this journey, because they're going to bring so much information and uncover for us. There are hidden codes in the Abbey there in south of France, where Mary Magdalene lived out the rest of her life. So we want to uncover those codes and what do they have to share with us. And oh my gosh, we're going to stay in a castle for a few nights, and that's just going to be a lot of fun, just being in a castle and kind of reliving those times way back when. So a lot of it is remembering, but not just remembering. What does that have to do? How does that affect our life today? I know for myself, this concept of the sacred feminine, sometimes I have a hard time even speaking about it, because I have this energetic experience that it just pops out. And sometimes I have to ask it, if I'm going to do a webinar or something, could I please just kind of, stay in grounded in my space, because I can feel the energy of it. I can feel how the strength of this sacred feminine as it wants to make and move its way through. And I wish this for everybody. I hope that this speaks to those that have been kind of being called, whispered in your ear, and maybe just not knowing where to go. So yeah, I know it's a lot. Boom.
Well, I want to just talk for a moment, because I have had the great pleasure of being to Glastonbury multiple times. And when I saw that you were doing it in August, it was like, yes, because that's right in the peak of crop circle season. And going to the crop circles is an amazing experience. So Glastonbury, the crop circles, I'm glad that you also are hip to Avebury, because honestly, Stonehenge, it's become a tourist trap. It's, just a lot of tourists. But Avebury, you can walk around the fields and go right up to the stones and nobody's there. It's really, it's kind of like, while everybody's at the Disneyland of Stonehenge, you can actually really drop in the crop circles or in Avebury. And so I'm delighted you're going to be doing that. I'm still considering the possibility of joining you, and many of our friends, because a lot of our friends, Alan Steinfeld and his gang, are going to be, part of this. So We also had a wonderful show about Mary Magdalene just a couple of weeks ago, where we had this wonderful woman, Chanel, who lives in Lourdes and leads the tours there. And people were very excited about it. And of course, we've had Renee and Anthony who channel Mary Magdalene. We've had people who are scholars on Mary Magdalene. And there's such a rise of understanding about her at this time. So how wonderful you're going to be going to Lourdes and really where she's coming back into our world in such a beautiful way.
Yeah. I'd just like to mention that also these places that we're going, what I'm planning on doing or have been doing and will be is receiving this energy, the light that comes from each and every aspect that is there for us to learn, and bring it into a medium that we can have this effect on our DNA. And it is my hope that there is a way to offer this to people so that they can utilize this medium and have all this energy come in and work with them also. So yes, that's it's kind of exciting.
So you can learn all about these things in a couple of places. Let's start by going to her primary website, which is wellnesswithin.net, where energy and medicine meet. And it's a beautiful website. Again, like all of the websites, make sure you sign up and register to receive her information. Now, do you do private sessions for people, Lori? Or is that still a possibility?
Yes, I absolutely do private sessions, and I've actually done shamanic journeying with corporations also.
Wow. Tell us a moment about that.
Yeah, well, we've gone in. My husband plays the Aboriginal didgeridoo, and I use the Native American shamanic drum. And, you know, the two, they're the most ancient instruments, and they just bring you into a journey. And we set it up with an intention, always having an intention. And I could just talk for hours about the different things around the world where we've been and brought this to people that they've had the most amazing experiences. I just could write a book about that. And so in the corporate world, we're in cubicles and such. And so to bring this in and help people to expand into the concept of that there's this other reality besides the 3D that we live in so often. It gets them tickled that there is a place they can go, access information, learn about things, connect with their guides. Everything you need to know. The first place we start is in the sacred garden, and everything there is about you. It's all symbolic about you. And so be the great observer, learn about yourself just in this place. And like I said, I had a monkey show up, which is my curiosity, So yes, they're like tickled by this and intrigued, and they want to know more. So it's a great treat to bring this into the corporate world.
Beautiful.
And
you can also learn about her by going to Soul Search, because she is a soul searcher. Oh, I was going to go to the Soul Search one. Here we go. It looks so similar. Here we go. So, of course, Soul Search is where all of these wonderful people are from. Either go to Sedona, Arizona, where they all live, or go online to Soul Search. And anything you want to add, Tangela?
Well, I was just really excited about Lori's retreats, and I'm sure they're going to be incredible. She's an amazing healer. And I think, just this whole topic of us embodying our divine superpowers, just going to these energetic vortexes is part of that remembrance and reconnection process. And I think it's just so beautiful and powerful to be able to experience that. And yes, you can find Lori as well as all of our amazing practitioners here on Soul Search. And Lori actually is not in Sedona, she's in Colorado. So
That's right. So you're the one person here. Okay, that's right.
And Cherie's in Chandler, Arizona.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you. It seemed like there were so many Sedona people, and I associate you, Lori, so much with the Soul Search crowd. Whenever I see you, you're with all the Sedonaites.
I am. They're beautiful people.
How close are you to Omushar? He's in Colorado.
I think he's about 2 hours south of where I am. I'm up outside of Boulder. Yeah.
Oh, sure.
I'm just about half an hour from Boulder.
Oh, you are only, oh my gosh. We should have coffee.
Yeah, we are bound at the moment because there's a massive fire in Canada.
Yes.
And it's dumped here. We can't even go outside. There's so much smoke. It's
Yeah.
like New Delhi on a brand new morning.
Yeah.
And, it's bizarre. Anyway, cool.
Right.
Well, and it's
Lori,
perfect timing.
Lori, Susie was asking, what was the name of the first doc, please? The first scientist or doctor you're working with on the DNA? His
Oh,
name?
Dr. Glenn Rain. He is a quantum biologist in the study of subtle energy sciences. He's an awesome man, and he is so cutting edge. He's been ahead of people for so long. I love working with him. We are like two peas in a pod. We work so well together in what we bring forward. So yeah.
Thanks. And I know George had asked, that looked like music, the light code, is it?
No, it's actually not. It's part of a book, and each one is different. They kind of do look like music, and it's a communication of light. So not that music isn't, it is, but it speaks particularly to certain aspects of what, like the Egyptian pyramids bring information. This brings this information. It's in collaboration. It connects to many other ley lines on the planet. I mean, I could just go on and on about what this is filled with. And at some point I will do that, because I can't wait to share this information. It's quite intriguing. I had JJ Hertek look at it. He also gave me some information about it too. So at some point I'll be able to share all that with everybody.
Fantastic.
Thanks,
Well,
Lori.
yeah, thank you so much. And we will see Lori. We're going to have a Q&A at the end. We're going to go from one Colorado person to the next Colorado person. Almost sure.
Yes, indeed.
3.
I beg your pardon? Say that again?
Song number 2 of 3 tonight.
This is not number 2. We have 3 air purifiers in the house. My voice is closing up because of the smoke outside. It's an interesting one, being in the apocalypse, and it hasn't even happened yet. It's not going to happen. And so on that note, here's a song. What is it called? It's called Crossing Over. And if anyone wants to, maybe Stephen would like the rock aspect in this song. So let's get it on down. Let's do this, and then here we go. Maybe a rock star. And this.
We're almost ready. Hey. I've seen too much to deny anymore. I'm finding out where I'm hurting. The journey now is liberating. Breaking down walls inside me. And now the door within my heart is open. Another aspect of me changes into light, clearing out the chalice of emotion. The sword of Michael keeps me free from worldly blight as I climb aboard this ship of wonders. Beauty abounds in my life. I've seen it all through my own eyes. Heaven and earth are merging, and now the door within my heart is open. Another aspect of me changes into light, clearing out the chalice of emotion. The now the door within my heart is open. Another aspect of me changes into light, clearing up the channels of emotion. This sort of Michael keeps me free from the world. And I know that I am crossing over, letting go of all that keeps me from my birth, taking steps into my highest journey. Joined together we will create heaven on this earth.
Wow, that is worthy of a big twinkle. That was awesome.
Are we having
Love
fun? That was my "Are we having fun yet?" thing. So I was.
Oh my God, fantastic. Absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, Frode, we've spoken about this before, but Frode knows the guitarist, and that is a Norwegian guitarist called Ivan Arset. He's a very famous metal guitarist in Norway. However, he did this track for me when I was recording the backing track for this in Bergen in Norway. So, hey, claim to fame.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you very much. We're going to have one more Omashar song at the end of the show. And I want Jay Mayer is in the house, and Jay's reminding us to heal our health with light touch. We'll talk about that a little bit more during the Global Peace Tribe announcements that are coming up. All right, I got a little excited, Tangela, because you got this new person, and she looks great. And so this is the time we have her on the agenda. So tell us all about.
Yes, I'm so excited because this is the first time we're bringing Cherie Ariano to our show, and she is one of our newer members of Soul Search, and I'm just excited to be having her here. She is the founder of Divine Light Codes. Cherie is on a mission to share her inner light and assist with humanity's awakening. As a keeper of the codes, Cherie transmits healing light codes to humanity from prime creator to this 3D earthly realm. She is certified in the crystalline healing light and quantum psionics, and helps her clients clear limiting beliefs, old trauma, and expired soul contracts by offering healings, frequency upgrades, and star seed readings so they can embody more joy, self-love, and compassion. Her focus is also getting to the core wound and supporting you in your integration of your divinity so you can shine your light. Her energy healing clients are newly awakened humans, advanced souls, and star seeds from around the world. She offers comprehensive soul mentorships and wellness programs, and is available to work with all souls to raise their frequency. So you can book a free discovery call with her by checking out her website. And Cherie, we're so excited to have you here with us. Welcome to the show today.
Thank you so much, Tangela and Scott. It's really amazing to be here. And what a bunch of tough acts to follow. I'm like, oh no, she put me at the end after all these amazing people. So
you are an amazing being and healer and powerful light. So really excited to hear, all you have to say about, what we're doing and embodying our divine superpowers, and also about these star seed readings that you do, which I'm also very curious about. So want to hear all about it and everything, and also share about your oils and tools that you have as part of this transformational process. Cherie actually, at our psychic fairs, actually everyone who's been on the show, Lisa, Lori, and Melissa, all participate in our psychic fairs, and as does Cherie. So you can see all of these amazing healers live with us as well. So welcome, Cherie.
thank you so much. Again, this has been a really fun experience, and I really appreciate you guys including me in this beautiful love family. So speaking of love, that is obviously the highest frequency, and my main mission here on planet Earth is to share love and to download codes of love and spread as much love and unity consciousness on the planet. That's where I hope we end up as we go through this ascension timeline and ascension process. I'm also the host of a show called the Ascension Sessions, by the way, and Divine Lunch Hour. I forgot to put that in my bio, but people can share or can see some of the people that I interview on there, where we also talk about ascension. But first and foremost, I would say that my main mission is a multidimensional healer. I'm also a transmitter or keeper of the codes. I hold light codes that I kind of transmit into this 3D reality to try and lift humanity's frequency and vibration. Another big mission of mine is to lift humanity, to be of service, whether it's through healing or sharing information. Like if somebody wants to know if they're a starseed, I do starseed readings, as you mentioned. And that helps them kind of understand who they are as a soul, not necessarily as a physical being, but as a soul. And it helps them kind of like get on their path. Most of the time when they come to me, they're already kind of awakened and on their path, but having that extra information kind of like brings it all full circle for them and helps them understand their divinity and why their soul mission is so important, because with all of the chaos and the distraction on the planet right now, it's really easy for us to get off our path and get distracted and just like focus on the 3D challenges that come in. And as, light workers or code readers or psychics or mediums or healers or like whatever we all have a very important skill or gift to bring to humanity. And so that's what I'm here to do, is to be in service, spread the love, spread the light, and heal as many beings as I can. And I noticed somebody asked about, go ahead. Quantum psionics.
Exactly. She's
asking, yeah, I get that.
Quantum psionics. And then George is wondering, are divine light codes that which look like music written? So questions.
Well, yeah, that's an interesting question. So divine light or light language can come in the form of written codes, like the ones Lori shared with us. They can come in the form of sound, and they can also come in the form of art. And I'm not a light language reader. That's not the way I work with the codes. I simply download the codes and then transmit them. So it's all part of my healing work as an energy healer. And doing light language is something that I want to kind of get into in the future, but I haven't done that yet. So, but I think that just holding the light codes and delivering them to the person in a healing session that they need to raise their frequency is, equally as important. So quantum psionics, I get asked that question a lot. Quantum psionics is a healing modality that was created in Brazil. So I know we have Stephen who spent some time in Brazil. And it's basically quantum healing. So I do quantum healing. I'm a galactic healer. I work in like 5D and up. And, through this quantum healing, I work with ascended masters or archangels. I work with your higher self to call in the healing that you need in that moment, in that time. So how does it work? I work with a lot of different healing frequencies. So at the beginning of a session, we talk and I'll read the person's frequencies based on different emotions. So for example, I can read your sadness frequency or your love frequency or your happiness or abundance frequency. And so I'll read a person's frequencies, and that'll kind of tell me where they're at and where they might have blocks, either in their emotional body or their chakra centers or whatever. And then we go into the session, and basically their higher self will communicate to me what healing tools they need, like who we need to call in to shift the energy and raise their frequency. And sometimes Archangel Michael comes in. Sometimes I'm working with the frequencies of crystals or essential oils or Arcturian healing codes or sacred geometries or color codes. I work with a bunch of different tools. Sometimes dragon essences or dragon energies will come through for a person, and they'll need to get cleared by a particular dragon. There's like a bunch of different ones. And so that's kind of a little bit about quantum psionics, and the crystalline healing light is also very similar. However, it's more like journeying. It's more like shamanic journeying, where I'll take you on different journeys to different healing locations through a session. It's just slightly different. And I'm also an alchemist. I work with essential oils and crystals, and I blend them together. So I've designed a line of chakra balancing essential oil elixirs for healing. So each one focuses on a specific chakra, and I've picked 10 here, going from the soul star to the zeal point all the way down to the super root, which is 6 inches below your feet. It connects you to the earth. It connects you to your community as a whole. It's a really powerful grounding chakra. And so there's crystals in all of these bottles, which you can kind of see there. And there's also crystals in the roller balls. And I have a whole ritual, I guess you could say, for each oil. So this has yellow jade in the roller ball and inside the bottle, and they're all doTERRA, so they're all super high frequency oils. And there's a whole ritual that I ask people to do when they're going into a healing meditation or ritual, and there's affirmations right on the bottle. So this one is called I Am Powerful, and this is the solar plexus chakra. And then I've also designed a whole nother line called the emotional healing line, which each one addresses a different emotion. So if you're working on grief, if you just lost a loved one, or you have deep-seated depression, there's one that focuses on that, or I have protection oils and stuff like that. So that kind of came in as a download, as a service to support my healing clients. So first I do the healing, and then the oils came in as oh, you need to work with your oils, because I was just using them for myself and my family. And my guide said, no, you need to do more and share this with your clients. So that's kind of how that was born.
That's one of your superpowers coming through, your alchemist powers.
Yes, exactly. And then also, as you know, at your psychic fairs, I also sell crystal jewelry. Yeah, I make malas and bracelets to go with the oils, and that also came in kind of like a download, just to help people ground and connect with different crystals for healing. I also infuse all of the jewelry with healing energies and light codes before I let them go, out into the world for healing. And I've been working with crystals for many, many lifetimes, I feel forever. And then, as a starseed, I also feel like I have this really ancient soul, kind of going all the way back to some of the original human races. And it came in really clearly that I could do starseed readings for people. I would just see people, and I could see their realm, if you will. I could see fairies and mermaids and pixies and trolls and leprechauns, and and then I started seeing their realms, if they were Arcturian or Syrian or Pleiadian. And so that came in more recently, kind of like in the past year or so. So I've been doing starseed readings at your events. People love them. They just get really giddy and kind of excited. And then they tell me like, oh my goodness, that was so helpful. It really gave me a lot of clarity. So I've felt really blessed to be able to do that for people, because I don't know, it just seems like something that really helps them a lot. And it's a lot of fun too.
So do people actually come and ask you for starseed reading, Cherie? Like, how many people? I'm curious, because how many people are familiar with what does it mean to be a starseed, or are they just drawn to you, and then you just say you need a starseed? How does this occur? You know, and what do you see happening, especially with our younger generation? Like, are they even aware of this? Are they open to it? I mean,
they are.
hear all about it.
Yeah, thank you. That's a great question. So all of the above, to answer your first question. So for example, at the Sedona Ascension Retreat, people would just come up to my booth and be like, what do you have? I need to be in your energy field. I can feel that like I'm supposed to be here right now. And then I have this little sign that says, you know, starseed readings. And they're like, what's that? What's that? You know, so sometimes they're just curious and they want to try it. Others, I think, have been seeking it for some time, and then I happen to be there and they're like, oh, I definitely want a starseed reading, because either someone told them they were a starseed, or they heard about starseeds somehow and they suspect that they are starseeds. Most of the people who come to me, or so far everyone who's come to me for a starseed reading, has been a starseed. And I find that really fascinating, because it tells me that they're already connected into their inner knowing, and they already know or suspect that they are a starseed and they need more information. So that has been fun. People are really open to it. And thank you for mentioning the younger generations, because I do feel like the Gen Zs and the Gen As, who are like, you know, the really young ones, they're all waking up so much sooner than we were. Then I'm a Gen X, and you know, I'm kind of like a late bloomer. And I find that the younger generations are waking up so much faster. They want to know who they are. They want to be on their divine soul path. They're learning about starseeds. They want to know if they're a starseed. And so I get a lot of interest from the younger generations. And a lot of times they're already on their path. They're already doing their calling to some degree. I mean, they still have like, you know, we all have to have like one foot in the 3D sometimes, you know, for a few hours a day. But many of them are already kind of choosing consciously to spend their energy more in the 5D, 4D and 5D. Like, they already know that they don't want to work for the man, and that the 9 to 5 thing is not for them. And they're really figuring out ways to get around that whole system. And I find that they're going to be the ones who change the systems much faster than we have been able to, our generation. So it's been really fun working with that group and their energy fields, for sure. And I see them as like incredible change makers. Yeah.
That's amazing. You feel like they're, you know, connecting to their superpowers, like by coming to you and connecting with you. I mean, I remember even at the last psychic fair, like these young girls, I think they must have been, I don't even know if they were in their 20s. They came up to me, they were like, we need to talk to her. Where did she go? And I was so happy to go find her, because I was like, I love this. I love it that we have this young generation that are just like, so, I mean, I didn't have psychic fairs and this kind of guidance and support, you know, around that age, but it's just really exciting for me to see like all these like young, you know, these young women. I'm like, wow. And then they're like deep in discussion with you. And I was loving it. I was like, wow, like they are connecting now, like they're feeling this now. And so, you know, I'd love to hear what you think about that.
Yeah, they're amazing. I mean, I met, they were like in their 20s, you know, early 20s, like 20, 21, 22. And I met this one musician who is amazing. She does EDM, which is electronic digital music. And she just played at the Viper Room last week in LA. I mean, she's just on her path, like full on. She's got like 15,000 TikTok followers and I'm sorry, Instagram followers. And, she's like, I want a starseed reading. And she kind of, already knew a lot, but she was also very pleasantly surprised to, learn some of the stuff that I shared with her. But yeah, you're right. They're like hungry for it. They want to learn about themselves. They want that confirmation that they're on their soul's path, and they know that they're here for something bigger and something better. And they know that they're also here to be part of the solution for this ascension timeline that we're embarking on. So it's really fascinating. And I also have a TikTok account, I will admit. And it's been really fun because I'm connecting with the 18 to 25-year-olds on there. My target audience is 18 to 25 and then 45 to 54. And I find that fascinating because they're either like my age or they're much younger. And I've been putting out these videos about chakra healing and chakra balancing and showing them meditations that they can do for each chakra. And I've been incorporating the oils, and they're very interested. They want to learn more. I've also been putting out a lot of content about star seeds and the different types of star seeds, and they just eat it up. So I'm really happy to be of service to the younger generations. I'm one of my superpowers is also I'm a mom. I have a 7-year-old and a 13-year-old, and I have a lot of loving energy, mothering energy. Like I'm a 2-4 generator, and my human design thing is the vessel of love. So, I just have that like mothering energy. So when these 20 somethings come up to me, I just already want to be their mom and help them get on their way, That's kind of like one of my superpowers, and I think they feel that in me. And, maybe they come from a tough home or childhood or background, and they're like, oh, there's an older person who could be my mom, but who's open to talk about this woo-woo stuff that my parents won't talk with me about or even listen to me about, so I kind of become that like alternate older figure for them. Even though I don't feel old, I know that I'm like in a totally different generation than them. So that's also been really rewarding to me, as a mom, to kind of like be this universal mom figure for them. But yeah, I get clients of all ages. I mean, at your event, a dear lady came up and she's like, I need a starseed reading. And she must have been 77 years old. And she knew she wanted a starseed reading. And then when she heard, all the information, she's like, oh, that made so much sense to me. Thank you. And so I just like, it's so fascinating to me to see the full range of souls that are coming online. They're waking up, it's never too late. And, I've been talking about ascension since 2017 when I started my YouTube channel. I just got this download. I hopped on a plane. I flew down to the Conscious Life Expo. I interviewed like Laura Eisenhower, Laurie McDonald, Tracy Ash, Billy Carson. I asked everybody, can I interview you? I was a nobody, and they all said yes immediately. And I was like, okay, this is a sign that I'm on the right path, with this crazy idea that I just had. I mean, it would literally happen from like 1 week to the next. Next thing I know, I'm buying a plane ticket to go to the Conscious Life Expo. And what I want to say about that is that back in 2017, which isn't that long ago, like ascension was still not really talked about the way it is today. I mean, there were people talking about it, obviously. But now it's like a word that you can say in a conversation and almost everybody has heard it. They know what it means. It's mainstream. And that I love that. Like, I love seeing how much we've normalized ascension and the awakening, and like they even renamed it kind of, and there's been slang, created around this whole topic, which is also awesome. So I'm just really excited to be here, be on the planet at this time, and be part of the solution, be part of service, be part of, helping everybody wake up through, just healing and love and my tools and all of it. Like, it's exciting times for me.
It is. Well, welcome to the awakening world. We of course talk a lot about ascension, and
Yeah.
I encourage you to go back and watch some of our shows. We've done entire shows on ascension. I think you really enjoy a lot of the presenters talking about it and really leading a lot of the evolution towards that, such as the twin ray. And it's
Yes.
wonderful to have you joining our tribe. And again, we can learn all about Cherie by going to Soul Search. That's where you find all these wonderful people. So definitely find Cherie, and she clearly has a lot of amazing gifts and offerings. And it's just wonderful to have you with us. Anything you want to especially point out, particular demographic group you really like working with? Of course, you already said you love working with young people, and so that's great. A lot of people in the chat box related right away to that. Anything else you want us to point to?
Well, they can go to my website, which is divinelightcodes.com as well. And I do have a free discovery call offering as well. So they can join my mailing list. They can sign up for the free discovery call. And it's like a 20-minute session to figure out like where they are, where they would like any kind of help or assistance. And yeah, you can see all of my private sessions on there, as well as follow my blog or my YouTube channel.
Great.
And
Here it is, divinelightcodes.com, and get a starseed reading or an energy healing. And it's wonderful to meet you, Cherie. And stick around. We're going to have, in a moment, we're going to have our panel of experts coming in and answering some questions. So everybody get ready for whatever questions you might have. What a great show. This is a lot of fun.
Thanks for being here, Cherie. And also, can people find your oils and crystal bracelets on your website also?
Yes, I do have an e-commerce shop on the shop link, so they can also find them there. And what I would love to do is offer a discount code. So I'll create a 10% discount code if anyone wants to go try an oil or a bracelet. And I'll make it GPT for Global Peace Tribe 10. Okay.
So that's code for your oils and coupon. I'm going to just type that in here. Coupon code. And that's for 10% off all the oils and crystal malas and bracelets that Cherie creates on the website. So amazing. Thank you for that, Cherie.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Thank you as well. It's been an honor to be with you. Oh, am I still on?
We are one love. And there he is, Jay Mayer, who creates so many of the videos that you see. And I think for the first Global Peace Tribe announcement, Jay, you've been putting a lot of energy into your Light Touch website. And again, everybody, you can find it by going to light-touch.me. And Jay's got wonderful videos. Really, he creates all these great videos that are really fun. But most of all, it's all about the prayer and the blessings and doing our blessings. And anything you want to mention, Jay, about what you're working on?
Well, I'd like to have her read the light codes sometime, on that sheet. it was like, wow, that just looks so awesome. I was just wondering what they said.
Okay, so what we'll do is when we start the panel, we will start the panel with her reading those light codes. How's that sound?
Sounds great. And, you know, she was talking about the DNA, you know, and changing our DNA. And, you know, that's exactly the way that I see light touch, because every time you're doing light touch, you're sending a soul vibration to your own self. You're initiating it and sending it, and you're actually receiving it because it's the right vibration that your soul will accept. It's like a cosmic key. So that's my experience of it. So that actually changes our DNA and helps us to ascend.
Absolutely. We love light touch. And of course, many of you do light touch, and those of you who don't, it's a wonderful way, whether you can do it on yourself or someone else, to really remember that we're in these beautiful body temples, and to always remember to pray for yourself and for others, ask for miracles, ask for blessings. Thank you, Jay, so much for all that you do for the Global Peace Tribe and for light touch.
And light touch, you know, is it's a profession, it's a career, you know, for healers. You know, you can heal weddings with light touch because you teach people to bless their partners, you know, with their best, most sacred prayers and energy, and they circulate that and join part of our groups. This is like Global Peace Tribe is part of our group of people where we all bless each other and we all have profound experiences. You know, I mean, my life improves when people are sending me blessings every day. And you know, we'd like to include anyone who wants to be part of, you know, our group, you know, invocations. So, you know, it's ongoing.
All right, so you can find out more by going to lighttouch.me or reach out to Jay. He'll be in the chat. You can chat with him a little bit, and we periodically are going to be doing a lot more. Thank you, Jay, for dropping in.
Good to be here.
Tangela, tell us all about what you're up to with Soul Search.
Well, we are busy as usual. You know, as you can see, we have all of our incredible healers here. We continue to do different online programs as well as our in-person psychic fairs and events. We have a big schedule of psychic fairs this summer, starting in Pasadena, June 3rd and 4th. And then we have them, let's see, if you just go to our website, soulsearch.io, there's a tab that says psychic fairs. And if you click on that tab, it lists all of our psychic fairs. But we have Pasadena, June 3rd and 4th, Scottsdale, Arizona, June 18th, Santa Ana, California, June 25th. Then we have Burlingame in the Bay Area on July 8th, Santa Clara, July 15th and 16th, and San Rafael, July 29th. Yep, and you can see all of our schedule right there for this upcoming summer. So we'll be live. This is where you can come meet us, come meet all of our different, you know, energy healers, psychics, mediums, bodywork practitioners, test and try out all types of different transformational technologies, such as the beamer and the cloud, and so many different types of red light therapy, you know, just incredible technologies, crystals, and so much more. So we really love hosting these events, and they're totally free to attend. So definitely come check it out. If you're in any of these areas, come visit us. And also we are launching Soul Search TV, so stay tuned for that. Melissa, Lori, Lisa, like a lot of the people you saw on today all have shows coming up. Kalina, you know, you guys did a big healing session with her. We did a big live online healing session with her 2 weeks ago. She'll be having a show on Soul Search TV. Asil Tuksal, he was on our Angel show last weekend. We have Global Meditation Day with him on Sunday. So, you know, we have incredible healers and teachers that are all going to be part of Soul Search TV. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be announcing a lot more to come. and it's going to be really exciting. So Scott, there's always more happening, but we're always happy to be here. And also just want to remind everyone, June 1st, we have our book launch party with Lisa McArdle's new book, Palace of Light. So hope you guys can join us there for more of Lisa and her book and some channeling and activations with her as well.
And we're now doing 2 shows every month with Soul Search.
Yes,
So
exactly.
we're really enjoying that. So we've got 2 more coming up in June.
Yeah, that'll be fun. 2 more great themes as well in June. So that'll be fun. So stay tuned, 2 more shows. And then also based on our huge success with Kalina's live healing show, we're going to have more of those as well. So we're going to also be announcing live shows where our practitioners will be doing live healings and readings for our audience for participation. So stay tuned for that. That's going to be fun.
All right. Well, my last announcement, just want to let people know, tomorrow, make sure you come to our Sacred Sunday show. We've got John and Summer Raymer. They're the ones who put out the Sign Network and get us out to over 150 Facebook groups and pages. And 2 people that John has been talking about for a long time. And, you know, the 99 days of unity are coming up, and we're going to encourage everybody to make a commitment. It can be personal, it can be professional, that we're all going to support each other with. And so tomorrow, you might already know what you want to get support for, or we'll start talking about it. Please join us tomorrow morning. And of course, Bashar will be with us providing at least 2 more songs. So it's time for more Stephen. Stephen, your first song was fantastic. It's great having you with us. I love your energy. And tell us what you got for us now.
Okay. Well, this is a song that, this is a particularly personal song for me. What it really has to do with is, oops, my connection seems to be unstable, but it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna play it and you can tell me what you think.
That sounds good, Stephen. Thank
This
you.
This is called One More Song. I could try to write a song that's clever and smart, but all I really want is to open my heart and let you know that it's time to plant the seeds for freedom's birth, to stand and shine your light on the earth and let it show. It's time. One more song for the innocent child. One more song for the wicked and the wild. And we all have a place to belong. And we all have a chance to shine on. There's a time for devotion to some great cause. Let your love light shine. I wish I could wave a magical wand, send love ripples through the primordial pond and let you know that it's time. I'd wave it at the sky, at the land and the trees. I'd wave it at you and you could wave it at me, and then we would all feel love. Oh, one more song for the love that we started. One more song for the dearly departed. And we all have a place to belong. And we all have this chance one more song for the love that we started. One more song for the dearly departed. And we know there's a place to belong. And we all have a chance to shine on. There's a time for devotion to some great cause. Let your love light shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Let it shine. Oh, you gotta let your love light shine. One more song.
It's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful.
Thank you so much.
Let's go to gallery view and do some beautiful twinkles. And I want to acknowledge Cherie Anderson. The elves are playing with you because everybody else is seeing the video and Cherie's not seeing it. So I don't know what that is, Cherie, but we love you and we're sorry that that's the case. Stephen, we never got the website from you for your coaching. What's that website?
Oh, it's consciouslifecoaching.org. And you can reach me, the email there is info@consciouslifecoaching.org.
Well, I had the good fortune to meet you in Sedona and we talked about your coaching. I was, fascinated with it since I'm a coach. And I was really impressed with the way you think and the way you express yourself. So I just want to mention that there's a great coach here. And if you're relating to his vibe, go to his website, countlifecoaching.org.
Thank you, Scott.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for having me on. Really appreciate it. I love playing music, and I really, I have so many songs that I really want to share with everybody. And so right now I've got a duo act that we've actually been playing together for 45 years, believe it or not. Wow. Yeah, we started in Prescott, Arizona in 1978. And we've been gone different ways time and again. I toured all over the world, and he's done his own touring as well. And when I moved to Sedona, I called him out of the blue and I said, dude, you got to check this place out, man. You got to come here. And so he goes, well, I did live there once. And I said, well, come and live here again. So he packed up and he moved here, and we've been working out our duo. We're getting ready to do some shows at the Chocolate in Sedona, and we're going to play the Arizona or the Sedona Greenhouse Project. They're having a farmers market, and we'll be the featured guest there on the 30th of this month.
I would love to have your duo on the show. Are you guys Zoom friendly? You guys?
Oh yeah, we can do it right here. In fact, he was here earlier today. We were rehearsing before this started, so.
Well, let's do that.
Let's
definitely do that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much. I love you guys. I really do. And Scott, it's always a pleasure to hang out with you. Whenever I get to see you, and I feel like you're my long lost brother. And Tanshila, you are just such an angel. I mean, your angel energy is just like, wow. I told the other day, she's really is an angel. I believe that.
She is. And stick around because I'm actually going to bring up all of our panelists now, including you, Stephen, because this is where we get to answer any questions that come in. But it would be good for you to mute because we're getting feedback, Stephen. We're hearing a little bit of me.
Okay, where do I?
But if somebody asks you a question, we will still bring you back up. And I'm bringing up all of our amazing people that have been part of the show tonight. And this is an opportunity to ask questions. And I know that Jay wanted to hear those light codes read. So
Okay, well, it reads like a book. That's the problem. So it's hours of reading. I don't think you want hours of reading. I can read you a little bit of some of it that it expressed to me when I did sit with it. One line, one symbol. This is
Great.
what it said, one symbol. Okay, well, part of it anyway. So, and I'm just going to kind of come in the middle of it because it's very lengthy, but it talks about the ley lines, the energy grid. We're receptive to hearing these specifics surrounding the earth and connecting to the energy grid, transmitting direct to the energy and sharing it. And then it goes on. It directly speaks to high communication about our planetary system, our system, the whole solar system, our planet directly. It brings forward a direct language, a different communication, hearing it within the particles of light. I see directly the pyramids, and this is the info that has been transmitted into the pyramids and accessing ways of understanding the way this energy can be utilized. It has a lot of similarity to the pyramids, the way that transmits. Then it goes on a little bit more, and then talks about very specifically about elevation, but I don't get the feeling actual elevation like soul elevates. It feels the way we travel physically outside of our planet. And then it talks a little bit about that. Then I saw symbols, mathematical equations, quantum equations, and it began to give me equations about that. And then I kept coming back to the Egyptian pyramids. So it was moving all over the place. It would bring pictures. It would explain to me what it was talking about, the connection with it. At one point, it talked about the Hadron Collider and what the physicists are working on there. It gave me more equations. Let's see.
So question for you, Lori, because
Yeah.
I think that Jay and people were interested in
Yeah.
is how can we adjust our genetic codes? How do these light codes help us to evolve?
Okay, so what they do is they bring in information that awakens certain codes, but it also changes the frequency of our coding also. So some of it, which is awake, will go into a dormant stage. Others will be transmitting at a higher, it's hard with the words, an elevated frequency, and it will share information that we're not aware of, that comes in from other places, that needs to share for us to come into a new way on Earth. We're coming into communication like the dolphins communicate, like the eco sonar. And so this is helping us access that capability. That's sort of it in the skinny, I would say.
Scott, that's a great question because, Cherie, Lisa, and Melissa also all work with codes and light codes and, in your own practice and in your own work. So I'd love to hear you all speak a little bit about that too, what the codes mean and how you feel like they're working through you and the activations that are occurring. If any of you want to jump in.
I was going to add to what Lori said. I agree with everything she said. And I think it also activates the dormant DNA in our 12 strand DNA. And it also helps us remember. So it's about awakening and remembering who we are and who our divine souls are and why we came here. So yeah, a lot of it is healing codes. Some of it is awakening codes to help us awaken to the next level. Some of it is to help us raise our frequency so that we can follow those synchronicities and breadcrumbs and recognize them, because you need to kind of be in that frequency to be able to see those synchronicities and follow the breadcrumb trail. So yeah, it's a little bit of everything.
And I'll just come in and speak to the piece that's been shown to me by my guidance, in that every time we receive one of these codes, or actually just reawaken the codes that already exist within us, we really become the deliverance system. So as they show it to me that Mama Gaia needs all the DNA expressed beings and on the planet to have these codes awakened, because we almost serve as the plug that she needs them to be actualized through us so that we can conduct them to her. It's kind of like when you go to Europe and you have to like get a different plug to plug into the source, that we become that conduit of deliverance to her. So not only is it essential for our own chemistry, remembrance, and actualized ascension, but it also, she's dependent upon us to deliver these through us to her in essence.
And I'd like to add that it also helps with our clairs, like our abilities. So as we get more codes coming in, maybe our clairvoyance comes online, or a clairaudience, or clairsentience, so it does we start to level up as we receive and allow these codes to come in and work with us.
Yeah, what was interesting as I was reading this, I could see the physicists, the scientists working fervently at the Hadron Collider as they're writing their equations in that. And it kept telling me they're missing pieces. There's missing pieces, and they're here. These missing pieces are here, and they're hidden in plain sight. And when humanity is ready, this is going to come out, and it has a lot to do with Egypt. And those that came to Egypt and found their way here, they have planted this information. In fact, when I work with the Sphinx tells me everything mankind needs to know is held in the Sphinx. And so it's all right here for us. It's just waiting as time goes on to reveal, as we're coming up into our elevation, then we're ready to be able to hear it. So.
And Melissa, you had put in the chat, codes hold keys and glyphs that have information within the codes, and it comes from the sacred geometry from the 0 point energy. Did you want to elaborate on that?
Yeah, this is a channeling that I've been doing codes since they started coming to me in about 2010. And I was taught how to create a sacred space to actually activate the codes. And the more I'm working with them and have worked with them, the more information that comes through. And everybody is exactly on point. Like all of this is exactly it. And I love what Lisa was talking about with the earth codes, and Lori with Egypt. I agree. What I have been shown is, of course, there's a matrix. This is a net, right? Everything around us is created through the sacred geometric shapes and frequencies, right? So sacred geometry isn't a shape, it's a frequency. And then what happens is there are sheaths in the sacred geometry. So it's think about it like a fiber optic cable. And those fiber optic cables hold light, photons. And what they're doing is they're activating your biophotons within the body. So they're activating your own light biophotons. I'm actually doing my class on all of this. So it's like so super exciting for me. And that's what these codes are holding are keys. First, a key. A key opens a door to certain things, dormant energy, like Cherie was saying, maybe clairvoyance or some clairs. And they all can also hold keys and traveling interdimensionally or seeing your parallel lives. The glyphs, when the codes hold a glyph, the glyph is actually a full download of information. Like when I received my book, it was like a full glyph of information. I had to unpack it, but it was a glyph of full code, like what Lori was saying, like one symbol is full. So that's what she's saying, that these are glyphs. And then everything holds the frequency from that. And it comes from the 0 point energy. So it's part of the creation energy. And that's what there are new star codes coming in. And they specific, for me at least, they're star code energies. And it doesn't matter like galactic stars. It's about the sacred geometric frequency that is coming through. Yeah, so it's super exciting. Like the codes to me, what they were, 10 years ago and where they are now is phenomenally different. So Lori and I have to, and Lisa, we all have to, like Cherie, we all have to hang out and just talk codes.
We should. Yeah. Yeah,
Well,
because there's a lot to unlock here, right? Pieces of it. All pieces of it.
And it's powerful what you all are saying, because all of you are talking about these codes, but also talking about how they're keys to unlocking our gifts. And that's really what we're talking about here with these divine superpowers, because as you mentioned, we have so many types of superpowers, many human superpowers, but now that we're in this ascension, it's really, beginning to unlock all of what we consider to be our superhuman, telepathy, the dolphin communication, interdimensional travel, astral travel, remote viewing, clairvoyancy. I mean, all of these gifts are just a part of who we are. So this is this process that's being unlocked for all of us, which is super exciting. Lisa, did you want to say something? You were looking like you were going to jump in there.
I wanted to excited for it all.
I just wanted to add a quick note. I'm sure all of you guys know this, but for everyone listening in the audience, you could be a light code keeper or holder of these codes, and you don't have to do anything. You just have to be in someone's presence, and you're already lifting their frequency and their vibration just by holding these codes. So we all have these divine codes, and it's just a matter of, I guess, allowing and receiving and sharing them. So thank you.
I love the activation piece of all codes. So most of the time when I'm doing my journey meditations, which is a full visceral experience, you're activated through those codes. And when you're activated in a group frequency, it's a completely different experience than just random energizing, like through like the rays of the sun or light energy, but when you're doing as a group in a very clear, coherent environment, it accelerates the activations.
So I'd like to just share one more thing, and this is something everybody can do. So I was given this by an extraterrestrial up at Blind Frog Ranch, and anybody can do this. Imagine a circle with a rectangle in it, and where the 4 points meet, each is a circle. When it gave this to me, it said, everything is in this. And what does that mean? I don't even know what that means. But then it said, take it and move it into a dimension. So in other words, instead of taking it and doing it this, do it this way, and then put the square in the middle, and take this round circle and build it into a cone. So create it into a dimension and bring it all the way up, but leave a little tiny hole. You are going to, in your meditation, come into the middle of that rectangle. That is you. And you're going to lift yourself up through that. You will go into the cosmos. You will go into time, outside of time and space, if you meditate with that. This is what this extraterrestrial gave to me some years ago. And anybody can do this in your mind.
Beautiful. Speaking of Egypt, Cherie, our wild monk that we love, is going to be in Egypt with Cherie and Kira and a lot of our friends from Ecuador who are going. So, and we're going to get a report from them when they're in Egypt. So that's going to be fun. And then Alan Steinfeld and Tangela, are you going on that Egypt trip with Alan? And
No, I lived in Egypt for so many years, so I have a special place in my heart for Egypt. I lived there for many years, and I will be going back, but not on that trip. But hopefully soon in the future, we'll see what unfolds.
Cool. Well, let's conclude with each of you having one final thought, and I'd like to bring it back to the theme of the show. So would each of you be willing to give a specific tip or tool or practice that our audience can take with them for how to embody or cultivate or acknowledge a divine superpower? Okay. So a specific tip, tool, or practice for how to embody a divine superpower. Either cultivating it, acknowledging it, discovering it. So pretty wide canvas there for you. And Tangela, I'm going to start with you since you're my co-pilot.
Sure.
What do you want to suggest?
Yeah, I mean, I'll suggest, people have always said to me, how do you do so much in one day? Or how do you get so much accomplished? And, I just want everyone to remember that, we create time. Our idea of linear time is, again, just a program that's been created for us. And we get caught up in that limitation. So one of my practices to create time, bend time, move beyond any confines of time is just to affirm. One of my rock star affirmations is, I create time. I have more than enough time. I have more than enough time to get anything and everything done. I have so much time in the world. And it really does work, because actually, like, people might think like that's a weird thing to say, but if you just start saying it to yourself without any resistance, people give affirmations like that for money, but we have a lot of resistance and fear around money. So those affirmations may be a little bit more difficult to get to on the money part of it, but you'd be surprised with time. You just start really kind of being like, hey, I have a ton of time. I create time. I have more than enough time. Suddenly you feel your day expanding and you get everything done. And when you see that you can create time, you start thinking, well, sky's the limit.
Tangela, that is such a wonderful, wonderful tool. I mean, I'm going to use it. I mean, it's like, as you say, it's like kind of obvious, but we need to hear you saying it to remember to do it. So thank you. That was awesome. Absolutely awesome. I think maybe what I'll do we'll just go in order, perhaps, of the people that how you guys were on the show. So Lisa, that means you're next.
Awesome. The thing that's coming through right now is permission. I just want to say you have permission to use your superpowers. They were given to you for a reason. They were given to you to help to actualize the consciousness of humanity, to make your life brighter and grander and more in harmony, and to support the collective. So whatever you perceive your superpower to be in this now moment, it is for you. Trust it and permission to expand it, because we often doubt it and we say, well, maybe it's not sexy enough, or I haven't accomplished it enough, or I haven't mastered it enough. But like, just permission is granted. Use your superpowers. We need you in your full expression.
Beautiful. Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. I think the next person was Melissa.
Sorry, headphone issues. Sorry. Did you call on me?
We did.
Okay, sorry. Having headphone situations. I feel that I want to share about giving and receiving love, because that's the meditation that I give away for free. But everything to me is always about the heart and activating the heart in the highest and best way to really open it and live from that space. And people who are on the spiritual path are great at giving. Like giving is easy. It's just what they do. It's their default. But receiving isn't always open. They're not as open to receiving. And that divine love meditation was really downloaded to me for that purpose. And so just opening up your heart and saying, I give love and then I receive back. And I give love and I receive divine love back. And just open your heart to that giving and receiving love. And it really does, if you just do that for a minute in the morning and a couple minutes at night, that will open up a whole new opportunity of option, or like I call them opportunities of all sorts of things can start happening for you.
Mm.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Lori, what do you have to share?
Well, so I think an answer is to go through your higher self. I think your higher self, we don't speak enough with our higher self. And so what I often teach my clients to do is to connect with their higher self first through meditation. Just call upon it. It will show up for you. And then I think this is always a fun thing. Because we have more than one or two superpowers. We're very powerful people and we have a lot to offer, although there's oftentimes much that inhibits that. So I suggest to ask the higher self to take you into the library. We've all been to the library, and open up the card catalog drawer. We know what a card catalog is. Open it up and ask it to show you what particular card that you need to have revealed to you, and what does it say on that card that you may not know about yourself, that has been hidden from you for time, that may be very important for you to know. And then don't forget to give thanks.
Beautiful. Thank you, Lori. And Cherie, our new guest, our new friend.
After tonight, I won't be the new girl anymore. Hopefully. Okay, so what I heard was please connect with your guides. So talk to them, ask for things that you want, ask for information, give them permission to help you. They're right there with you all the time, but they won't move mountains for you unless you ask. And I'm getting full crown tingles right now. So please start a relationship with them. Pretend that you're 5 and you have an imaginary friend and they're right there, and just talk to them like your pal, like your buddy. You don't have to say, dear God, please help me, da da da. No, just talk to them like a friend and start to notice the synchronicities, start to notice the miracles, start to notice the love you might feel in the heart chakra, or the tingles you get in your crown. And just nothing is too difficult for them. So just start a relationship with your guides if you haven't already.
That's beautiful. Thank you, Cherie.
Yes,
Stephen,
I'd like to say something if possible.
Yeah, I was going to you right now anyway.
Okay. The one thing that I wanted to bring into the codes and this connectivity to the higher realms and to knowing ourselves and our higher selves, getting in touch with our higher selves, is music. And I think that Omashar probably would agree with me that when we are creating music, particularly certain types of music that have that frequency in it, it triggers that in most people that are listening to it. And I've with the Bliss CD that I have on Spotify, I actually programmed that. Gosh, it's been 24 years ago that I really put the codes right into that from my Reiki mastery, which I had achieved at that point. And I really get a lot of people who are listening to that product that are just saying, you know, that their whole higher self started talking to them and they were connecting in incredible ways. And I just wanted to mention the musical aspect of connecting to your own divinity. It's really important because it's direct frequency and it does affect your heart chakra directly. And so you don't have to think about it too much. You just let it in, you know. And I want to just, while I'm talking here, just say, Omashar, I'm like blown away by your music, bro. You are really a master musician. And I don't say that lightly. I don't give that kind of compliment to many people, but you definitely earned it. Your music is amazing. Thank you for that. And thank you all for this awesome opportunity. And you're all such wonderful light beings, every one of you. And I'm sure all the people who are listening are too. I wish my wife could be here, but she said she's going to watch this later. So,
Well, we love you, Iara.
Love and light, everyone.
And both of you will be back. And since you gave that wonderful kudo to Omashar, let's close this out with Omashar's wisdom and probably a song as well.
Yes, which, holy smoke. It's like every single one of us who have presented tonight, including us musicians, have said something that's in a part of my psyche that has just been shined on from a different perspective, and it's just opened it right out. And I loved what I think it was Melissa was talking about, receiving her book in one glyph. And it's kind of how I receive songs. They come along and they come down. Then you have to unpack them. And the new song that I played at the beginning of this show, Rainbow Nation, I'd actually half written it about 4 or 5 months ago, and I didn't like it. And what I hadn't realized was there's a little scroll when I was scribing the song out when I first received the glyph. I hadn't unpacked it. And I unpacked this little scroll to the bottom, which is just basically chord structures. I played the chord structure, the lyrics came through and it said, ta-da, it's complete. Why didn't you unpack me before? And so thank you, Melissa, for that correlation there. And so here is a song, and it's called The Wonderful and the New. And I'm not too sure what to put behind me, so we'll just do this one and this one.
You'll never walk this way again. Lay down all your guards. Your loving hearts will lead the way. The door is open. The wonderful and the new is waiting patiently. Take the step and you will see all you've been dreaming. And now is the time you've been waiting for so long. I've been holding you through all ages. Never be alone again. Please take my hand in yours. I love you just the way you are. You're my creation. wonderful and the new is waiting patiently. Take a step and you will see all you've been dreaming. And now is the time you've been waiting for so long. I've been holding you through all ages, knowing I'd be with you once again. Bum, bum, ba, da, da, bum, da, 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 da. Bum, ba, dum, ba, da, da, da. Bum, ba, da, da. You'll never walk this way again. Lay down all your guards. Your loving hearts will lead the way. The door is open. And now is the time you've been waiting for so long. I've been holding you through all ages, knowing I'd be with you once again. All you've been dreaming.
Wow. Wow. Gallery view.
Mate, we
What
all
a-
lift each other up, brother. It's this web, not web, just a network, and we're all feeding into it, and we're all getting lightened up into in our hearts and our minds and our cells. And we're testament. Global Peace Tribe, brother. We're testament, and the rest of our tribes around the world, of course.
Very well. I love all the beautiful people who have their cameras on. Thank you so much, everybody, for being with us. And Tangela, you always bring so many people, and so many of the people you've brought onto the Global Peace Tribe we've brought them back over and over. They've become regulars. I've been blessed to become friends with many of them. So thank you you really are truly a weaver of worlds. And you continue to weave. My God, you're traveling all over the place. It's unbelievable. It used to be, where's Waldo? Now it's going to be, where's Tangela?
That's how it's always been. So it's going to continue to be, and we're all doing it together, just like Omashar said. We're weaving this web of light. No, we are this web of light. But as we weave it together, it grows brighter and brighter and stronger and stronger. And I think I forgot, one of our guests, had mentioned, us being who we are. I think it was Cherie, us being who we are resonates those light codes to everyone around us. And then us doing this intentionally together, resonates those codes and lifts the frequency and vibration around the world. And, as we do this intentionally online and in person, this is what the ascension is all about. So I'm just so blessed to be doing it with all of you. Thank you so much.
It's so true, Tangela, because what I've noticed is that you actually don't have to make any effort. The only effort is be who you are. and then Scott, be who you are, and Stephen and everybody else. And it's like, what? I don't have to be you? That's really cool. And you can shine as yourself. What a concept.
I don't have to be Tangela. She's got it covered.
I know, but I don't know, another word for envy. Envy something about mega achievers like you two. I don't know about envy, but I honor it. I wish more of it in myself.
We honor the major achiever and you. Look at the songs you just played for us.
Right. I mean, imagine being able to play music and sing like that and to create like that. Oh my gosh. That's just so cool. Yeah.
You blow us away every time, Omashar.
Thank you. And all of our guests do as well. All of them blow me away in the same way perhaps as music does. And the thing, what Stephen was also saying was music, it holds the codes of that which I've become within myself. And when you're listening to it, it holds a space. And if you're within that space and not interfering it with your thoughts, then you can resonate there and go, oh, that's inside me too. Cool, I can lift myself into that place as well. So that's good enough for now.
Well, another beautiful show. Thank you, Omashar. I will see you tomorrow morning, my friend. Tangela, thank you for putting together a great show. And thank you to all of our guests and to all of our presenters. Much love to everybody. Gonna go to gallery view one last time.
Lots of love to everyone.
Take care, everybody. See you tomorrow morning.